In April 2016, the Library of King's College in Cambridge was awarded a grant of £44,000 towards a project to undertake the cataloguing, conservation and promotion through public events and exhibitions of the English literature and theology books in the library of former King's Provost George Thackeray. Thackeray, pictured here with King's College Chapel in the background, was born in 1777 and became Provost of King's in 1814. After he died in 1850, his library of some 3,000 volumes was given to King's. The collection includes treasures such as Shakespeare's famous First Folio, as well as first editions of some of Jane Austen's novels. The books range in date from the late 15th century to the middle of the 19th century, and as you would expect, not all of them are in perfect condition. The aim of the conservation element of the project was to ensure that the books were not at risk by the end of the project. In this video, we will outline some common types of damage caused to rare books, which are faced on a daily basis by conservators and librarians and have been encountered in the Thackeray project, before looking in more detail at the conservation work undertaken on one rare book as a case study. Many things lead to rare books becoming damaged over time. These include the quality of the paper, leather and other materials used to make the book, as well as the conditions in which the book is kept. For example, if the storage environment is too humid, above 65% relative humidity, and too warm, above 19 degrees Celsius, mould could form on the books. Likewise, if it is too dry, below 40% relative humidity, or colder than 16 degrees, the leather, parchment or vellum in the bindings, or the pages of the book, could become too brittle and crack, or be susceptible to further damage. Librarians monitor their rare book stores on a daily basis. If books that are made fragile by poor environmental conditions are then handled incorrectly, damage often occurs. Here we see a book which has been removed from the shelf by someone pulling at the top of the spine. This has resulted in the leather at the top of the spine being torn and removed, and the sewing on the headband weakened. As we saw a moment ago, detached boards can be reattached by a conservator. However, with many books, interventive conservation is not required. If the wear and tear on the binding is quite minor, the book can be protected by enclosing it in an acid-free archival box for conservation, known as a phase box. During the project, we made about 300 of these boxes, each one designed to fit exactly the measurements of each book to provide maximum support. Books housed in specially made phase boxes are protected from dirt and dust. That is not true of the other books, however, and over time this can cause damage. In order to prevent this, we have begun a regular cleaning program to dust and remove surface dirt from our rare books. Project volunteers and members of staff at King's have assisted with this conservation cleaning after receiving training from a conservator. Dust has to be gently brushed from the text block of the books to ensure it doesn't become ingrained in the book. Most rare books are made up of gatherings of leaves, sheets of folded paper, which are sewn together and then sewn to the spine of the book. Sometimes these deteriorate and the gatherings become loose. In these instances, a book conservator is needed to restore the book. Here we can see linen braids that have been overlaid on the original sewing supports. The gatherings were then reattached. As with modern books, it is often the corners of the bindings which get damaged most frequently, as they can be easily knocked. Here we can see a damaged board on a rare book dating from 1672, before and after repair. In these images of another corner of the same book, we can see how Japanese paper, a soft tissue paper, has been used to build up and strengthen the damaged corner of the board, which is then coloured to match the colour of the rest of the leather. Another common problem faced by our conservators on this project was torn or damaged pages, often resulting in losses to the page. In this example, a section of the page is missing and the remaining edges are damaged. This page has had to have the torn and creased damaged area carefully flattened out before being repaired with Japanese paper. This copy of Petrarch's poems dates from 1711, although it has a 19th century tanned leather binding. The front and back boards are decorated with single-line gold borders around a stamped floral patterned frame, creating what is known as a panel binding. The printed text block is on handmade paper, and the head, tail and foredge of the text block are decorated with marbling that matches the end leaves. Before conservation, both boards had become detached, and two of the raised bands on the spine were missing. There was also damage to the leather on both boards and the decorated spine. The spine was lifted using a scalpel and spatula, revealing a paper and textile layered lining and a heavy layer of animal glue. A poultice solution was applied to enable the paper and textile linings to be lifted. A second poultice was applied to soften the animal glue and enable it to be removed. After cleaning, the spine was lined with Japanese paper, aero cotton and manila paper, attached using wheat starch paste. The aero cotton was shaped to enable it to act as a flange to reattach the boards, with the textile tucked and adhered beneath the covering leather on the exterior of both boards. Dyed leather was used to patch damaged areas on the spine. The two missing raised bands were infilled with leather over which the new repair leather was attached using wheat starch paste. The spine piece was then pasted onto the hollow using a mixture of adhesives, with shaped pieces of a heavyweight Japanese repair paper pasted over the split and missing areas of the leather. The same repair tissue was also used to cover areas of damaged and missing leather at the board corners. The repair paper was then toned using acrylics and sealed with a thin coating of microcrystalline wax. Here we can see the book before and after conservation.